Hi, everyone, and welcome to Dividends, the show for and about your College of Business. Our first guest today is Parker Stewart, and no stranger to the College of Business. He was a student here, really helped get our entrepreneurship program off the ground, but he is here in a different role today. He is the director of the Veterans Business Outreach Center, VBOC. It's a mouthful, but he's going to tell us all about it and how we're helping vets, not just in Mississippi. Parker, good to have you here.
Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate being here.
Give us a little background on VBOC and tell us about the mission, and then tell us how you're carrying that mission out.
Definitely. So the VBOC is a federally funded grant. We're funded by the Small Business Administration, and we're all over the country. There's 20 VBOCs across the country, and we have a mission to serve our nation's veterans by helping them start businesses.
All right, so there are 20 of these centers. They're relatively new. How did Mississippi State get to be a center? What makes us qualified to be a center?
Mississippi State is prime for entrepreneurship, and the fact that we've got a solid team of professors backing the grant that helped to get us this VBOC here at Mississippi State, we've got a solid team of people who know what they're doing, who know how to teach business.
And I think we are also nationally ranked as being very vet friendly, going all the way back to the days of Congressman Sonny Montgomery, who was, wrote the GI Bill and is just instrumental. So veterans are in our DNA here at State.
I would agree. I'm actually a veteran myself. Air Force, it helped pay for school. I'm debt free, and because of the military, I'm very grateful.
So how does this work? What's the mission? How do you carry it out?
So our number one goal is to teach what's called Boost to Business, which is essentially a 50,000 foot level how to start a business course for veterans. Because the fact is that many veterans, a large percentage of our small business owners here in the United States are veterans, but many of them don't have that formal business training. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we come in. We come and we teach a class on military installations. It's a 2-day course, and we teach them the nuts and bolts of how to start a company.
So what are some of those things? I would imagine it would be business plan, P&L statements, market. Do you cover marketing, things like that?
We talk about marketing, the number one key being who is your customer and how do you reach them. Mm-hmm. We teach about basic economics behind a business. We teach the fundamentals of legal structures and what's going to be the best legal structure for your company. It's really every aspect from a high level of how to start a business.
And you're actually very uniquely qualified for this because, as you mentioned, you're a veteran, mm-hmm. so you have instant credibility when you get in front of these folks, right?
Right.
And also you're a serial entrepreneur.
That's right, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your entrepreneur history at Mississippi State, going back when you were just a wee little student.
Well, you remember when we first met, I actually brought you my first business plan. It was a breathalyzer vending company. I had the goal of trying to help people get home safely with a wall-mounted machine. I wrote a 30-page plan. I raised some money and ran it for about 2 years.
And you were in several college towns, right?
Right, so we were all over the state of Mississippi. We had the rights for the entire state. I ran the company for about 2 years, sold it, and have since started a food business with
mm-hmm.
my parents.
And the food business, you can go ahead and give just a shameless plug for your Del Viejo salsa and your spices and sauces. And go ahead.
Never hurts. So it's Del Viejo, which is legendarysalsa.com. We have a salsa, a spice blend, a marinade barbecue sauce. We have a jalapeno honey mustard, range of products. And it all started here at Mississippi State. I had a lot of help through the Entrepreneurship Center, and I'm very grateful. I couldn't have done it without him.
And so you actually went to Florida,
right?
And you were working on your business, mm-hmm. and then this opportunity came up, and I guess you saw it as a good fit for you?
Right, so with my business background, I graduated Mississippi State from the business school, and with entrepreneurial experience and being a veteran myself, I wanted to give back. And it was a great chance to come back to my hometown. I love Starkville, and being able to travel around and help other veterans start companies is really it's fruitful, it's fulfilling.
Has anything, as you do these sessions for these veterans, anything strike you as unusual or just typical that you're seeing with these veterans as you do these sessions?
So I guess the main thing that we stress is to talk to your customers. A lot of veterans, and I did the same thing with my first company, is I spent a lot of time doing research in an insulated computer lab, and I didn't actually get out there and get real-world feedback. And so that's the main thing we try to stress.
I would think there'd be some advantages that veterans would have as well, because I've noticed even working with you, there seems to be this core understanding of the mission, right, of getting it done. And I would think that veterans, that would be an advantage for them, that they would have these skills, because that's what's taught in the military, right?
It's the sheer determination, the willpower, the persistence to achieve, and the willingness to not give up really suits well for entrepreneurs. Well,
we appreciate you coming back to the mothership here at Mississippi State and sharing your talents to help get our veterans started in business. And it's a great center, and we're proud to have it and proud that you're at the helm.
I appreciate you saying that, Jeff. It's good to be back.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
The Entrepreneurship Center exists to give innovators here at Mississippi State an edge. Our goal is to provide startups with the resources and support they need to reach the marketplace and ultimately achieve success.
Success for us was growing our company from 2 founders to 8 employees.
Success for me was turning my personal lifestyle into a corporate partnership.
Success for us is turning academic research into applied engineering solutions.
Success for me was turning my passion into a profitable opportunity.
The success of our entrepreneurs is a team effort. It takes a strong support infrastructure of people to encourage innovation and explore new ventures. We need business leaders to mentor and guide these visionaries through the practical challenges and do everything we can to give them a shot at real success.
Welcome back, everyone. Always love featuring our student entrepreneurs on Dividends, and today we're going to introduce you to your mystery date, Michael Lane. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Jeffrey, it's good to be here.
You're not just one of our entrepreneurs. You help us run the show, and we appreciate that. Let's tell folks a little bit about your background. Engineering student.
Yep, mechanical engineering. Started about 2 years ago in that degree.
All right, and your home is the great railroad town of Amory, Mississippi.
Yep, grew up there, moved there from Dallas shortly after I was born. So I've been a native to Mississippi for most of my life.
And you not only are an entrepreneur, and we'll talk about that, but also you help us run the center. And one key part of the center is something called the makerspace. So tell folks what a makerspace is.
So makerspaces are do-it-yourself communities that bring together tools, equipment, training for people who don't have access to that stuff. We allow them to use equipment to design their own projects, products, whatever they want that they wouldn't have access.
They can do prototypes, and it's my understanding is it's everything from the basic metalworking, woodworking to pretty sophisticated 3D printing.
Yeah, we go all the way up to 3D printing, CNC machines, laser cutting, all that stuff.
So this brings us to your business. I guess as the guy who sort of oversaw the makerspace, you saw a need to try to have something to help you manage it, right?
Yeah. We originally started MakerSync in order to build a management system for ours. After participating in eWeek last year for the Entrepreneurship Center, I realized I might be able to turn it into a business and build that software for all makerspaces.
All right, so this is an app?
It's a web-based software, so it can be on your phone app, web, whatever.
And what does it do? I mean, what does it, it manages, you can tell who's in there, what's being used, what equipment, who has it, who's using it?
Yeah, so it uses integration with hardware to track real-time usage of equipment. So you can tell who's turned on a piece of machinery, whether they're qualified to use it, and you can also remotely shut them off and turn them on.
And how has this been received? Where are you in the process?
So we're in development right now. We've gotten the first couple of major aspects of the software up and going. We're looking to start really marketing this summer.
Have you had to pitch this or do any of that?
Yeah, I've actually been in a couple of pitch competitions. I won first place in the conceptual at E-Week, and I've also pitched it down in Jackson.
All right, so you've got a product. You know it's got some value because you actually live in that space. Mm-hmm. So how do you get it out there? How do you market it? How do you make money on this? What's your plan to roll it out?
So ours will be direct to consumer sales. So I'll use my connections that I've gotten through working with makerspaces to go directly to these spaces and try to market it.
How big is the market? I think a lot of our viewers might be hearing about makerspaces for the first time and think, okay, you sell 2 or 3 of these. What's the market really look like?
So there's probably about roughly 1,000 makerspaces in the U.S.
Really?
right now, and it's been growing more and more every year.
Wow, so you actually have some room there for some sales.
Yes.
All right, now is this going to be a full-time gig for you, or what are your plans the next 2, 3, 5 years?
My goal is to get MakerSync up and running, and then hopefully one day I can sell it.
All right, so they call that an exit strategy for anyone that starts a business. So then what's next for Michael Lane? You're going to retire with all your millions, of course, give some of that back to the East Center,
Of course.
and then go sip pina coladas by the pool.
My immediate goal after that will be to start investing, and then I'll try to start another company.
Okay, and this will be related to your engineering background, or what interests you?
I'm mainly interested in tech fields, so I'll probably have something to do with that.
And how has the E-Center and your experience at Mississippi State helped prepare you for all that?
I know a lot about business that I didn't know before I got involved with Entrepreneurship Center. And for a non-business major, that's very important.
It is. Well, thanks not only for sharing your story, but for your contributions to the E-Center, because you run a piece of that's really important for us. So appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for watching. It's good to have you here, and we'll look for you next time on Dividends.